A bunch of Chapter 1 locations in Fortnite have just been unvaulted. If you now go to Logjam in Fortnite, the reality tree has taken over, and every single game you land, you're going to be greeted with a different location. Hi, what is going on YouTube? My name is Onyi. Today we're going to be talking about Logjam Lotus and the best ways to drop there. Alrighty, so we're talking about this current spawn location at the moment at Logjam Lotus. It is a combination of the old pirate ship areas as well as Haunted Hills in the game. Haunted Hills does make an appearance and a couple of the other ones as well. But let's talk about best drop spot locations. Now, whenever you're landing in Fortnite, you always want to land for height. Height is the number one place you always want to land in game because it's going to allow you to get easier headshots and it's going to allow you to go into cover a lot easier because people can't see above where you are. Typically all they'll see is a tiny bit at the top of your head. It's a lot harder to hit a smaller target. What I've been finding while dropping at Logjam Lotus is this area of the map where these old logs are closer to where Rave Cave is a lot higher concentrated most of the time. So there will be more loot there, but that means more possible contention. You'll be fighting people a lot more here. So what I recommend is landing on the outskirts close to Shifty Shack, looting up the buildings that happen to spawn here and then rotating in slowly. If you don't get enough shield, you can always push out this way and you can go get columberries that spawn over here. On top of that as well, you can land towards the center locations and land for height so that you can beam people off the rip before going down. Now, if you do land on the pirate ship, there is ways to get down from the pirate ship, so do not fret. You do not have to take fall damage at all. You no longer have the diving boards to break fall damage, but what you can do is you can pickaxe part of it, or you can just make your way down and do a little bit of parkour, and you can pretty much just slide down this section here and you should be fine. Do note for this new reality tree at Logjam Lotus, it does not launch you up in the air, unfortunately, and you cannot farm the tree, but you can farm the areas around it. I'm currently in Battle Lab, so my build multiplier is really high, but you won't get that many mats while going there in game by yourself. As you notice here, it does not launch me up in the air, but I think in future updates of the game, these trees will spawn ever around the map and they should grow bigger, and hopefully we'll have redeployed every single location similar to Reality Falls. When looting new locations in the game, you want to be aware of what's in front of you because that's where people can shoot you from. So rather than directly going through an entrance, say if you landed on the outskirts, it's better to farm through a wall here as well. You don't want to ever overexpose yourself and you always want to be near a corner. So if you get shot at here, you can go into cover here. If you get shot at here, you can go into cover on this side. So remember to farm up if you're playing build mode in the game, and if you're playing zero build Fortnite, remember to stay on the outskirts so you don't have people behind you. If you land on top of this location on this side of the map, you want to completely flush it out so there's no loot left. Then you want to go get columberries if you don't get enough shield, and then you want to slowly rotate in, making sure that your back doesn't have people there because you've already been to that location. There's a fair amount of floor loot here, and I do find the pirate one has a great amount of brick as well. So if you're playing build mode in the game, make sure you farm up. Do note some of the trees actually are farmable in the game. It's just the main big one that is not farmable. So this is the one location that's a little bit different to the others. On this side of the map at Logjam Lotus, it is a little bit more populated, so I recommend landing on this side and then rotating in because you'll be less contested, and then you can make sure your back is completely clear. Do note chest spawn rate is not 100% in the game, so if you're playing build mode, farm up your mats. If you don't get the loot that you want while you're here, rotate outwards. I recommend towards, once again, the shore or the gas station. Even landing the gas station overall and then pushing into this location could actually be a goated spot to do. I'd rotate in then to this following building here because it's got a fair bit of floor loot possible spawns, both inside the building on the outskirts and then on top, and then you can push the other two sides of the building. This side is going to be heavily populated because it's a lot bigger and there's a lot more chests, so people are going to be fighting here. So if you do land here, you're a lot more likely to get third party, and then the same goes for this big building over here. So remember, just kind of land when it appears like this, when it's this like new Greek mythology type of standpoint, land around here and then kind of like rotate like around here as well, and then you can kind of push into those big buildings and the center spot here on top of that. So when landing in the old western spot in the game, this is what I was talking about before from the first location. Landing on this side is going to be more favorable because you're going to be less contested, or landing directly on height. Now, if you land directly on height on this tower here, you have possible chest spawn right under the Logjam sign, and then after you farm out this Logjam sign, be careful not to fall to your death. That could happen very easily the way that is upheld. So rather than landing directly on top and farming that directly out, what you really want to be doing is you want to be landing here and then breaking the side part and watching the loot fall down, or you want to be sitting here and then breaking it upwards with a gun and then grabbing it. If you want to take a better approach to this rather than just looting it fast and being possible third party to spawn if someone gets a gun, go for this chest here if it happens to spawn, or the floor loot around it, and then head towards this building. This is going to be very contested, but holding down this middle building and locking it down due to its height and how it has positioning compared to the others is going to be advantageous unless someone takes this top top tower. If you don't get the loot that you want, I recommend rotating out towards this small building and then outwards towards these ones on the east side, because you're going to have a lot more loot there. You have the columberries once more again, and then you can push back into this more populated, heavier contested area. We have another barn on the outskirts here as well. This one can be a great landing location, but I feel like this one's going to be a hotter drop, especially considering Darth Vader can spawn on the mountain here as well. Personally, me, I'm going to be going for these two chests off spawn, and if it looks like that's going to be too highly contested, I'm going to be landing on this building, as I feel like this barn, although it's on the outskirts, will get a few people contesting it if they do happen to land here. Unfortunately, like locations like Collider in the game and other spots with freezers, there is no guaranteed shield or anything while landing here apart from the columberries, so there's no one specific spot that's going to give you OP loot. It's more about having that technical understanding in Battle Royale, about having high ground and making sure you don't have people that are going to be behind you and your back and third partying you, and having rotations in and out of the location, so if you do get pushed or you don't have great loot, you know where to go. So those are all three possible spawning locations here when landing in the game. I think this really interchangeable location is a really clean change in Fortnite. I've spawned in a total of 12 times here today just to check it out, to make sure there isn't any more different spawning locations here. I think it's a really clean spot to land, and it's going to create some really fun, engaging moments in the game. Because of this ever-changing location, it's not going to be static at all. As a last note here, remember, while gliding in the air, you can ping guns. So if you are trying to land on something that is not just a chest or a possible chest spawn location, ping guns and then try and land on a gun. You should be able to see it from far away. And say, for example, if you don't even get to ping the gun and you ping the ammo instead, you should be able to tell what gun is next to it if it is shining a type of rarity. If you don't see any shine or rarity, it's most likely just a pure ammo spawn. Anyway, make sure you leave the video with a like rating for me grinding out this video super fast as soon as this update drops to you guys. Subscribe to stay updated for videos in the future. I'm on the goal currently of trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. My name is Onyi. Use code ONY in the Fortnite item store to show support of a small creator like myself. Check out all my links down in the description. That includes my Twitch and my Twitter and Discord and everything else in between. And I'll catch all you guys on the flip side. Goodbye.